Hi, I'm Kar Yong. I'm a TCG and Funko Pop collector. The first thing that got me into really collecting is actually by random. I decided wanted to have some things to decorate in my car. Then my younger brother actually suggested that this little toys called Funko. So back then I have no idea what it is. And I went online and purchased, I think, the first 4 to 5 Funkos at random. And then from there, I start to have a little bit interest into like what exactly this is. You know, the unique thing about that is the eyes are always the same. They're always in black circle. And then at one point in time, I was scrolling social media on Facebook and I saw an auction on these toys as well. And I saw, oh, that's a very unique Batman. That time I didn't know it was like a unique one. But I saw it's an 18-inch, so I was very interested in that and I went online and searched. And so happened I found a store quite near to my house, so I went to visit and make my very first purchase. So I started with Funko, and then of course within Funko collection, it does evolve over time as well. There's this period during COVID, kind of like basically just on a shopping spree, buying almost every Funko in a specific series that I love. And of course, over time, I also explored back into TCG. So when I was very young, I started playing Pokemon, right? Not really collecting back then, like in primary school, we're just playing the card games and things like that. And then this year, in 2023, I actually wanted to come back into the trading card game, right? And that's where I kind of explore first in my mind about Magic the Gathering. That's why I came to Collective. Bought my first 2 decks on Magic, but didn't really play that. End up, I'm getting myself back into Pokemon, childhood memories. And that again started another whole new set of collection, which is going into the card game. So right now I'm not only playing, but also collecting some of the Pokemon cards itself. First thing to note is, of course, in today's context with social media and things like that, it's fairly easy to get information as long as you follow the respective accounts on social media, whether it's at Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, etc. And then of course there's also certain closed group, more friendly community as well. So for example, like in Collektr, you'll be able to find various WhatsApp groups on various collections, ranging from TCGs, various TCGs itself, to Funko Pops, to even comics, and I'm pretty sure they're also expanding their collection. So if you have a unique, specific interest in any of this, it's always good to join the community. And not only you'll be able to keep yourself updated in terms of some of the new releases, but sometimes you are also able to learn, bounce ideas from the different collectors in the community itself. Right, so for me, I've experience on both sides, buying as well as selling on the Collektr platform. So as a buyer itself, I think the first thing to note is, of course, the assurance and the safety, not only from the items that we're buying, but I think in terms of the entire transaction between the buyer and the seller. And having a platform like that is really important for buyers, because we then be able to ensure that when we are spending and when we are buying, it's number one, the item is authentic, and of course number two, the transaction is being authorized and done properly in a way, once it's done, the platform will also ensure that the seller would actually fulfill whatever that you actually buy. So that gives me a sense of safetiness, or when I kind of like buy certain things on the platform itself, right? And that's to me one of the most important aspects as a buyer. And then as a seller, I also enjoy the aspect where they have this feature of bidding. So you can actually put up an item that you would like to release or sell it off to another collector. And it's really fun to see different collectors coming in, bidding for a specific item that they would like to add into their collection. And again, because of the safety of the platform, we know that the buyers who buy in, it's not something that is kind of like what we call joy beading, where they just basically bead and then after that overnight they're gone, right? So as a seller, it's also very important to actually have a platform to ensure that the entire transaction is being authorized and it's smooth. For someone who is new into collecting, I think it's also good and important to separate between two categories. So one is, I would say, your personal interest in collecting, and the other category would be more towards if you're looking at collecting as a form of investment, right? Which means you buy low and then hopefully in the future you'll be able to sell it at a higher price to make a profit or make a return, and then continue on with your next investment and things like that. So for the first category, as a personal collection, I think there is not much of a general guideline because everyone's interest is very different. But I think you still need to have a little bit of planning at the early stage, right? Because one of the mistakes I did is I didn't really plan exactly what I would want in terms of space management as well as storage management, and then I went into impulsive buying. So it ended up stockpiling a lot, and now you have to deal with the storage issue. So that's a little bit more on like personal collection. There's really no strict and hard rule to it, but it's really more of just have a little bit direction and planning in terms of like what you want. Then in terms of like investment, I think it's important to do proper research because not every collection would rise in value. Even if it will rise in value, you need to study in terms of how to protect so that your collection doesn't get damaged. And in the future, when you want to resell it, at least you're able to maintain that pristine condition of your collection. Hi, I'm Kar Yong, and if you are looking to buy or sell any collectibles, do visit and sign up for Collektr.co, and happy collecting.